So these variables are nothing but called global variables, right? So they are accessible from throughout the class. Now next variable is in C. Now as in C is defined inside a method, in C is defined inside the method. So in C is only accessible within void main. It cannot be accessed in the second method add. So if I try accessing it inside add, I'll get an error. Why? Because int C is declared, void main itself is stored inside stack, right? Void main is stored inside stack, and it cannot be, it is not globally available. So simplest form, we have two types of memory, heap and stack. All the global variables are stored inside heap, and there they can be accessed throughout the program. But variables which are declared inside a particular method, they cannot be, right? So in C, in D, num1 and num2 are local variables. So let's quickly see an example, right? So let's declare a class, public class, local global example. What is the next thing that we do? Public static void main string args, right? So let's declare a variable in C here. Now this is a local variable. So if we declare variables int a here, int b here, what are these two variables? These are global variables, right? So let us try assigning C a value here, 23, right? And let's declare a value for A as well, 34, and for B let's declare a value 45. Now when I run this program, the name of the class should be the same as the name of the file, right? How do we compile the program? Java C file name. Now it says, okay, so this is something that we can't do. Okay, so this is a concept that we have not been through, so let's declare it static for now. Why are we doing this? We'll look at later, right? So the static methods are also stored in the heap, right? So we cannot access it from a local, so we have to declare them static. Why are we declaring them static? We'll look at it later in the class. Let's not confuse ourselves for now. So if we run this, there are no errors, but we did not print anything. So let's ln value of C is, what is the value of C? C 23. Value of A is value of B is B. So now what do we see? Even though A and B was stored outside this method, we are still able to access these variables from inside the method, right? So let us declare another method which we'll call public static void add int a int b. Now let's try printing out the value of variable c here. Value of c is, let's call it display instead of add, right? Value of c is, we actually don't need anything. What is the value of c? 23. So what should happen? Now what should happen? What does it say? C is declared inside another method. And what am I trying to do? I tried printing the value from outside that method. Where was C declared? C was declared in this particular method, right? What was I trying to do? I was trying to initialize it here. Is it possible? No. But what happens in case of, so it told me an error, symbol variable C location, and I cannot find symbol C. Why? Because C is a local variable which is only valid within this particular method, right? But instead of C, if I say print A, value of A. Now if I run this program, I do not see any error. Why? Because A was defined outside any method. So it's a global variable. What does global mean? It can be accessed, means it can be accessed from by any method of the class. It can be accessed by any method of the class, right? Now we'll see what happens when we run this program. So what should be the output? Let's look at this program. A, B. I assign 34 to A, 45 to B, and then I print the values here, right? What is the value of C? 23. Value of A, 44. Value of B, 45. So when I call display, I'll execute this statement. I have already set the value of A. It is a global variable. So what will happen now? It will print sorry, it should be Java. The value of A is 34. Even though I did not declare A inside this method, I was still able to access this variable A. Is it clear? Okay, let's look at another example. So let's declare a variable int D here. Let's assign value of D as 35. Now, do you think I can use this D inside this method? We have two methods now. Method 1 is main. What is method 2? What is method 2? Display. Right? Now, if I declare a variable D here and I try printing the value of D from the first method, now if I try printing the value of D from the first method, what will happen? Will I be able to declare the value? Let's try. What does it say? Symbol variable D in this class And what is the error? It is very important for us to understand the errors. What does it say? Cannot find symbol. Why? Why can't it find variable d here? Because d is not a global variable. D is a local variable. Again, what are local variables? Local variables are the variables which are defined within a method, right? What are global variables? Global variables are the variables which are defined in a class but not in a method. Defined within a class, global variables are variables which are defined within a class but outside any method. So now what? The A and B are global variables which can be accessed from both the methods. B is B. Now because A and B were declared outside the method, so I can access them from anywhere. But because D is declared within a method, D is declared within a method and C is declared within main. So I can only access C within main and I can only access D within display, right? I cannot access D from main. So what happens if I try accessing D from this main? What will be the error? What will the compiler complain? Value of D is, so what will the compiler say? Compiler will say this. Cannot find symbol. What is the error? Cannot find symbol. What is the symbol? Symbol is variable D. Where? Java line number 15. If I go to line number 15, I see okay D. Then I see, oh, I have not defined D here. Where is D defined? D is defined within display. So I can only use D from display. Is it okay? Is it clear? So I'll pause here for 2 minutes. Please let me know if you have any doubts. Ask your coordinators to type your doubt in the chat box. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Or please turn your mics on and ask. Please ask your doubts. It's good. So did you understand what are global and local variables? A lot of interview questions are asked on these concepts. It's very important. It's very important for you to clear these doubts. People ask a lot of questions for the interview on these topics, right? These topics are asked throughout your interviews. They'll ask for entry level jobs, all the big MNCs. They give you Java training, but before giving you the training, they'll ask you these questions. You have to be clear on these concepts. If you have any doubts, I request again, please ask them. Okay, looks like you understood. We'll continue. So Java memory model looks like this, right? So there's a heap, your local variables, And your code, what is your code? What comes in your code? The byte code. What comes here? The byte code. The byte code that we generate is stored in a separate space. Then we have heap. What is stored in the heap? Objects and global variables. What is stored here? Objects and global variables. Right? What is stored in the stack? Local variables, also methods. What is stored here? Local variables and methods are stored in the stack. Global variables are stored in the heap. What are global variables? Global variables are the variables that are declared within a class but not inside any method. So as we saw here, one region of the memory is reserved. It's not called anything, but it is reserved for your source code, that is byte code, and static data. We'll see what is static data later on. Don't worry about it, right? So static variables are variables that are never created or destroyed. They're always there throughout the program, right? Just think of it like this right for now. So when a new object is created, Java allocates space from a pool of memory, which is called heap, right? Which is called heap for global variables and objects. Each time a method is called. So what does it say? Each time a method is called, Java allocates a new block of memory called a stack frame to hold its local variables. So now what happens? Let's see. Let's see an example for this. Let's see an example for this. So let's say we have a class, right? We have the following class, right? So now what happens? Let's say we have this function void int. Let's write the complete code again. Let's not confuse ourselves. So what is the code? Public class example. What is the entry point for every program? It is public static void main string args, right? So now let's declare a method, public void add int a int b. A is equal to a plus int c is equal to a plus b, right? And then we say, what do we say? Print the result. System dot out dot println c, right? We create two variables, we print and we display the result. Now let's have a stack with us. So this is the Java stack, right? This is the Java stack. Now what happens is, when this program starts execution, what will I have? Add 1 comma 2. Let's say I have add 1 comma 2. Now what will the JVM do? When this method is called, what does JVM do? JVM copies this method, right? What does it do? It copies this method and calls it here in the stack. It also creates a space in the same stack for variables A and B. For variables A and B, right? Also create space for variables A and B. Now the moment this is over, what does it happen? It executes this and then returns back to my calling method. Let's say I have another method called subtract two numbers. Subtract two numbers. B. System.out.println C. Now what will happen? If I call subtract here 4 comma 3. Now what will it do? After add is completed, after this add is done, it will call add, it will execute this, get a memory, it will execute this, it will execute this. Once it is over, what will it do? It will remove add from the stack and then it will place subtract in the stack and also assign memory for A and B, local variables A and B, right? After it is done this also, what will it do? It will erase this from the stack as well, right? So this is how the program works. So what if instead of calling subtract from this method, what if I call subtract here, right? So what will happen now? First it will put add in the block, add in the stack, will execute this method, it will calculate C, A plus B, it will print the value of C, then what does it see? Oh, I need subtract. So it will add subtract to the stack, create a memory for these variables, it will go, it will execute this, and it will print C. What happens now? Now this is completed. It will come back add. Before coming back to add, it will remove subtract from the stack, A and B from the stack. Now after this add is also complete. So what will happen? It will go back to main. Before going back to main, it will remove add from stack and add AB also from variable from the stack. What is stack? Stack is a type of memory. Is it clear? Are there any doubts? So Java does all this memory management on its own, right? We just saw this example. We have a method, right? Global variables, where are they stored? The bytecode is stored in this memory area. Where are global variables stored? In the heap. Where are methods stored? In the stack. So in all, how many memory areas do we have? We have 3 memory areas. First one is called bytecode, or I keep on thinking you will reply. So bytecode is stored in a specific memory area, separate memory area. Variables A and B are stored in heap, and the method is stored, method and the local variable are stored in the stack. Is it clear? So whenever a new object, okay, so we've already seen this, okay. So now generally what happens, because we have stack here and heap here, as we, this is also an important interview question that people generally ask. As we keep on creating global variables, what happens? What will happen? We'll create a new variable, we'll need more space, so this will go down, right? We need more variables, global variables, we'll create more space. What will happen? This will again go down. What happens to local variables? As soon as we create more methods, we'll need more space, this will grow up. So how does heap grow? Heap grows from top to down. So how is heap growing? Heap is growing from top to down. Heap grows from top to down. How does the stack grow? Stack grows from bottom to up. Stack grows from bottom to up. Is it clear? So stack will grow from up to bottom as we keep on adding methods. Heap will grow from top to down. Okay. So yeah, stack and heap grow towards each other for flexibility. What are they doing? They are growing towards each other. Is it clear? Let's look at another example before we move on for local and global variables. So let's say we have a class called public class example local global, a class called example local global, right? What happens next? We declare a variable, but is this variable local or global? It is local, a local variable a, right? Now we have another variable called b, which is also a local variable. Now I have another method called add. What does it do? It takes two arguments. It takes two arguments. What does it do? It says int c. What is c? A plus b. What does it do? It displays sum of a and b is c. Okay. So you can also do, you can add as many as pluses and add variables as you want. So if I say sum of a equal to, I simply say plus a. Now what will happen? It will add the value of a here. Similarly, I can say sum of b equal to plus b is this, right? Public static subtract. Now, because these are local variables, right? These are local variables, so I can have the variables with the same name. Why? Because these methods have their separate memory space, right? They have their separate memory space, right? So they do not conflict, right? We can call them with the same, we can call the variables with the same name. C is equal to a minus b. System dot out dot println difference of a equal to and B equal to is C, right? Now let's assign a value. A is equal to 34, B is equal to 10, B is equal to 10. So is this clear? Now let's call add A comma B from this method, and let's call semicolon. Always remember to add semicolons at the end, right? Always remember to end semicolons at the end. What is the name of the class? Example local global dot java, right? Now how do I execute it? Global dot java. We compile it using Java C. Now it says, oh, I did not find a return type. What is the error? We did not give a return type. A spelling mistake. It should be system dot out. Finally, we are done. It says sum of A equal to 34 and B equal to 10 is 44, right? We did not call this method, so nothing got executed. Now what do we do? We call it from this class. We pass the same values. Save it, we compile it, we run it. Now what happens? Now how will this flow? The answer is sum of 34 and 10 is 44. Difference of 34 and 10 is 24. So what is happening now? We call the main method. It adds add method to the stack. Sorry. It starts executing the add method. It calculates A plus B, stores it in the variable C, prints the value, then it adds subtract method to the stack. It calculates the difference. It displays the value of C. Now it has to return to the add method. Before returning, what will it do? It will remove subtract method from the stack. Then after it is removed, it is an add. Now it has to go back to the main method. So before moving to the main method, it will remove the add method from the stack. Yeah. Hello. Does anybody have a doubt? Okay, let us continue then. So this is how Java allocates memory. Now let's move on to the next topic. So what is an array? Why do we need array? What purpose does array solves? So let's look at array as this. So we have to save a, we have to add 100 integers. Now for that we'll have to create 100 variables. Where 1, where 2, where 3, where 4, right? Now instead of doing that, what can I do? Let's try solving it. Let's take a new file and say public class array example. We'll not look at array in this particular function, but what we'll say static void main. So now we have to add 5 variables. What will we say? Num1 equal to 3 2, and num2 equal to 10, and num3 equal to 15, and num4 equal to 16, and num5 equal to 17. Now if somebody asks me what was the fifth number, I'll have to display num5. Or if I have to add all of them, what do I do now? I need a variable to store the sum. Initially it will be 0. Sum is equal to num1 plus num2 plus num3 plus num4 plus num5. Now what if I have 1,000 variables? I have to add 1,000 numbers. Will I create 1,000 variables now? How long will I take to write that program? What if I have 10,000? I have to add 10,000 numbers. So will I create 10,000 variables? Right? So instead of doing all this, what do? We create an array. What is an array? Array is a collection of the elements of same type. Actually, array is a collection of elements of the same type. Right? What is an array? Array is a collection of elements of the same type.
It's 3 o'clock.
So array can store a fixed number of elements. So before we store elements in the array, we have to declare the memory, right? And what will it do? It will go and reserve memory for whatever number of elements do we tell it to. Is it clear? So JVM always allocates memory in a fixed fixed range. We'll see why. JVM always stores the memory in a fixed size, as in fixed location. So motivation for arrays is, we just saw, we have to add 100 numbers. It's not a good practice to create 100 variables for storing the number. The better way for doing is to creating and storing all 100 numbers, creating an array and storing all numbers in it. So how are arrays declared? Let's look at how are arrays declared. So simple is, an array can be declared as data type. What type of value will be stored in the array? Data can be of any int, char, boolean, right? Variable name is the name that you will give to the variable. How are arrays declared? It's very simple. So let's delete this. How do we declare? Int array. What do we say? What does this signify? This means it is an array. What type of elements will it store is given by int. Int tells it will store elements of type integer. What is array? Array is the name of the Okay, let's give it a proper name. Let's give it A. So A is the name of the array. Okay, is it clear? Now, what after we have declared, this is called declaration. Now, what is the next thing? Next thing is array creation. Now, what does array creation means? We declare it, we do not tell anything to the compiler, right? So it does not know how much memory does it need. So we need to tell it, okay, listen, I need this much memory for this array. Now, how do I do that? I do it using the new operator. I do it using the new operator, right? So, what does the new operator do? New data type and size. So, how do we do it? We say A is equal to new integer. What is it? New data type and size. New integer. Let's say we need an array for 5. What will this do? It will create an what will it do? It will create an array of 5 elements, right? It will create an array of 5 elements. Now, the next question, create an array of 5 elements. Now, the next question, earlier what did I have? I had something like this, num1 and num2 and num3 and num4 and num5, right? I had to do this. Now what is the equivalent of that in array? What will be num1? It will start from 0. Let us start from 0. Array always starts from 0th location. Num1 becomes a of 0, num2 becomes a of 1, a of 2, a of 4, a of 5. What does it become? A of 0, A of 1, 2, sorry, 3 and 4. So num1 is stored in A of 0, num2 is stored in A of 1, num3 is stored in A of 2, num4 is stored in A of 3, num5 is stored in A of 4. So what do we do now? We simply say A of 0 is equal to 1. A of 1 is equal to 3. A of 2 is equal to 4. A of 3 is equal to 5. A of 4 is equal to 10 maybe, right? Now what did we do? We created an array and we displayed the array. Now if I want to display this array value, what do? I simply write system.out.println A of 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what will happen? What will happen? It will go, as soon as I say array example, it will compile and then we say Java example, it will go. What was array of 0? 1. It displayed 1. Is it okay? A of 0 was 1. Then next one is 3. 3. Array of 2 is 4. It displayed 4. Array of 3 is 5. It displayed 5. 4 is 10. It displayed 10. Right? So what did we do? Let's do a recap. How do we declare an array? First step is array declaration. How do we declare an array? We declare an array like this. Then what is the second step? Create an array or allocate memory for the array. Okay. Next step is allocate memory for the array. Then third part is assign values to the array. How do we assign values to the array? And how do we access the values? Access the values of the array. Is it okay? Any doubts? Any doubts? Please let me know. I'll pause here for 2 minutes. Please go through this. Our array declared. How do we create a memory, allocate memory for the array? How do we assign the values? And how do we access the values stored in the array? Please look at it for 2 minutes and see and let me know if you have any doubts. We'll pause here for 2 minutes. Okay, let's continue. So, we saw how do we create an array. So, is there an alternate way of creating an array? Right? Let's look at it. Class array example 2. Int array. I can directly also say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. So if I do this, if I already know the value of the array, I don't need to, there is no need to use the new operator. What will this do? This first thing it will do is declare an array with name AR. It says integer type of elements will be stored in the array. Then what does it say? We will store how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. 5 elements in the array. So allocate the memory for the array. Allocate the memory for the array. And then what is the next thing? Store the following values in the following array locations. So AR of 0 will have 1. What will be there in AR of 1? 2. So 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Until 4. So 0 will have 1. 1 will have 2. What will 2 have? Array of 2 will have 3. Array of 3 will have 4. Array of 4 will have 10. So everything that is written after double forward slash is not part of the program. It's not a part of the Java program. Is it clear? So anything that is written after a double forward slash will not be a part of the program. So how can we access these values now? So to access these values, we can choose the same notation system.out.println AR of 0 is equal to array 0. Right? Array of 1 is 1. Array of 2 is 2. Now, what is array of 4? Equal to array of 4. 1, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay, we are doing array example 2 now. The array of 0 is, array of 0 was 1. Array of 1 was 2. Array of 2 was 3. Array of 4 was, we skipped array of 3. Array of 4 was 10. Please take a couple of minutes and see if you have any doubts. Please ask. Please clear your doubts. Please try and understand everything. I'll wait for 2 minutes. I'll pause here for 2 minutes. Please go through this and see if you have doubts. Let's continue. We have seen array creation. Now array visualization. So how are arrays stored, right? So this is array reference variable. My list, my list 0 stores 5.6. So this is an array of type double. My list 1 is 4.5. My list 2 is 3.3. Right? The elements are stored in contiguous memory location. This is very important as an interview point of view also. So how are elements stored in the memory? So imagine a lane of houses in your colony. What happens? House 1, house 2, house 3, they are all joined together, right? So if I have to create an array of houses, what will happen? The first location on the land will be house 1, then house 2, then house 3. Similarly, in the memory, the location is contiguous, right? This contiguous location. It will not be the case. So let's look at it. Whenever memory array is stored in the memory, this is the memory, right? So if I have an array of 5 elements, it will be stored in a contiguous location. It will be stored like this. Array 0, then array 1, then array 2, then array 3, then array 4. So 5 elements will be stored in the contiguous location in the memory. It will not be the case, right? It will not be the case. This is the right thing to do. All right. This is the right approach. This is right. It will never happen that, you know, 3 elements are stored here in the memory. It will never happen. It will never happen that 3 elements are stored here and the remaining elements are stored in some other location. 3 elements are stored here and then 2 elements are stored here. This is wrong. Always remember, this is asked in the interviews. It will not be the case. It will not be the case that 2 elements are stored here, right? 3 elements are stored here and 2 elements are stored in starting from a different location. So array elements are stored always in a contiguous Always in a continuous memory location. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it clear? Right? So let's say this is stored here, this is stored here, here. Now the next question that we have, we declare an array, right? Now we saw size of the integer is 4 bytes, right? So now think what will be the size of array A. Think about it for 30 seconds. Write down the answers in your notebook, and then when I tell you, please verify you're thinking on the right grounds. So, how many, now how do I find the signs? First thing is I find out how many elements am I storing in this array. How many? I can get the answer from where? Here, 5. The answer to this is 5 elements. Okay. And the next question is, what is the size of every element? What is the size of every element? Now, every element, we know every element in this array is of size what? Is of size 4 bytes. So, 5 elements of 4 bytes each. Then size of the array A is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 20 bytes. The size of this array is 20 bytes. How? We have 5 elements. Now, what is the size of every element? Right? Now, every element of this array is of type int. We know int is of 4 bytes. So 5 elements of 4 bytes each. So the size of the array becomes 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes, which is nothing but 20 bytes. Right? So let's take an array of different type. So let's say public class array types. Right? Where does the program start from? Now, this is also an array. What are these called? These are called arguments. The main method takes an array of type string. Right? You have already seen array from the first class. If you can relate. We are taking an array of type string. Right? Now, let's declare an array of type byte. Right? Or let's put some values in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take an array of type char. What will we get here? A, B, C, D, E, right? And then let's take an array of type double. 1, 2, 3. Is it okay? Now we took 3 arrays. Now let's try and find out the size of each array. What will the size of array A? Please try and find the sizes of all the arrays. I'll give you 2 minutes time, right? Take your notebooks and try and finding the size of all the arrays. You have exactly 2 minutes. Okay, let's continue. So what will be the size of array A? Array A has elements of type byte. Size of byte is 1 byte. It has how many elements? 5 elements of 1 byte each. Therefore, size of A is 5 bytes, right? size of B. Array B has elements of type char. What is the size of char? 1 byte. Therefore, size of A, B, C, D, E, 5 elements. Size of B is also 5 bytes. What is next? Next is size double. So C has how many elements? 1, 2, 3. 3 elements. Size of double is 8 bytes. So size of C is 24 bytes. Right? Now, let's print one value each from these arrays. Now, system.out.println. I want the first value from byte. Byte array first value. Nothing but A of 0. Let's say I want the third value from char array. Char array third value. What do we do for third value? We subtract 1 and we write the index array of 2. What do we do for double array? I want the second value. So how will I get the second value? Subtract 1 from 2, we get 1. So first index array types dot java. Right? Now let's see what happens. How do we compile it? Java C array types. It says you have made a, what does it say? Error. It's important to understand your errors to become independent. It's quite okay. You will make spelling mistakes throughout your programming, right? So when Java tells you something wrong, you should not feel helpless. You should understand the error. What is the error here? I made a very common spelling mistake. The spelling of system SYS. So clearly say system does not exist. I don't panic. I simply go, okay, I have made a spelling mistake here. I simply say, write it, correct it, save it, and run it. We are all humans, and it's quite obvious we'll make mistakes, right? But we should learn from those mistakes. So, byte array, first value is 1. Where is 1? 1. Array of 0. Char array, third value, 3. Oh, what should be here? B, C. Save, compile again. Char value, third value is C. First, second, third. Third value says by index 2. Right? Index 2. Double array, second value is 32.33. 32.33. Right? Now let's go on to the second part. Now, if I have a condition where I have to, iterate through all the array values, right? Starting from the first value to the last value. So I have an array. And what do I want to do? I want to start from the first value and display till the last value. So let's take an array first. Array loop example. Entry point program is public static void main string args. right? Now let's say I have an array of integer type which has the following elements. So array has 25 elements. Now if I want to display all the elements of this array, what will I do? Will I write 25 printl statements? Is this the only way? Should I write 25 print statements to print all the array? Now if I want to print them two times, will I write 50 print statements? Right? No, the answer is no. We have already learned a technique called loops, right? So what is the situation here? How do I access the array elements? I start from 0 and I go on till size minus 1. So for this array AR, elements will start from 0, 1, 2, 3 up till 23 and 24. Why? Because it has 25 elements. It has 25 elements. The index for the first element is 0. Right? So the index for the last element will be 24. Is this part clear? Guys, is this index part clear? It is very important. Is this index part clear? Arrays are very important for you. You will use it for solving all the problems that are there in your Hibion test center. Okay. Please stop and ask if you have any doubts at any point of time. I'll give you more time to ask doubts. Please use that time. Okay. So what can I do? I saw for loops. What does for loop do? I need a variable first. So I say int I. I can say I equal to 0, the first index. I less than equal to 24. I have to go till 24. I plus plus. Right? What will this loop do? Let's see what does this loop do first. I. Right? If I say this, what happens? What will this loop do now? No. Okay, look at it. What is it saying? Semicolon expected. Where? Line number 12. I go, okay, line number 12 is this. Oh, I realize I forgot to add this semicolon. Right? I add it, I save it, and I rerun it. Okay? It's okay to make mistakes. Again, it's okay to make mistakes. Now, what does it do? It starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up till where? 24. What does this loop do? I equal to 0, it executes, checks I is less than 24, yes. Then it executes this statement. In the end, it increments I. And I becomes 1. Again, it checks, executes, right? Now, instead of printing I, what if I say system.out.println value at index I Index I is array of I, right? What am I doing now? I am printing the index and the value. Now see, value at index 0 is 1. Let's confirm it. Index 0 is 1. Value at index 1 is 2. Index 1 is 2. So array starts from index 0. Where does array start from? Index 0. Right? Value at index 2 is 3. Value at index 3 is 4. Right? All set? Let's look at the last. Value of index 24 is 25. So this is the last index, which is 24th. Value here is 25. Is it clear? Now let's do something interesting with it. Now, before multiplying it or displaying the value, I want to, okay, let's do it. Do it like this. I want to modify the value of array I. I simply say array of I is equal to array of I into 2. Array of I into 2. What happens now? Made a mistake. Okay. Somehow this got added. Okay. Now, okay, before I execute this, can you guys guess the output of this program? What will be the output of this program? Everything you need is on your screen. Please give it a try. What will be the output of this program? What will happen? Go step by step. For I equal to 0, first this will execute. Array of I into 2. Array of I is 1. 1 into 2 will be saved where? In array of I. Meaning I equal to 0. Array of 0 is equal to array of 0 into 2. Right? What will this become? Array of 0 is equal to array of 0 into 2. What will this be replaced with? This will be replaced with 1 because array of 0 is 1. So 1 into 2 is nothing but 2. So array of 0 will be equal to 2. So earlier we got the value at index 0 is 2, 1 is 4, 2 is 6, 3 is 8. So everything got multiplied by 2. So it became 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Is it clear? Is there any doubt? We just saw how can we use for loop to access the elements of the array. Okay, now the quick question. What will be the size of this array? What will be the size of this array? What is the size of array AR? Array AR as elements of type int. Size of int is 4 bytes. Right? Size of int is 4 bytes. Right? How many elements are there? There are 25 elements of size 4 bytes each. The size of the array is 25 into 4 bytes, 100 bytes. Is it clear? How do we calculate the size of the array? Is this part clear? Okay, so let's visualize the array again. So let's assume and this is our array. So this is nothing but index. And this is your array, right? So index 0 has the first element, index 1 has the second element, index 2 has the third element, right? How do we do it? How did we access all the elements? I said I'll start from 0. We'll start from 0. We'll go till the last index and we will say array print array I. Print array I. Is it clear? Okay then. Let's do another problem. What is the problem? We are given two arrays, array 1 and array 2. What do we have to do? We have to find, okay, we have been given, let's do it simple first. We are given one array. We have to find the sum of all the elements of that array. Example, array is equal to 3, 14, 5, 121, 42. The output for this would be 17, 22, 121, 143, 185. Okay. So take 5 minutes and try writing this program. Okay. So we don't have a program. Okay, I'll explain it to you and go and try it in your labs. So how does this program work? First thing we need to do is create a class, right? Array sum. What is the entry point for every program? Right? Public static void main. Now, first I have to declare the array. What is the array? 3, 14, 5, 121 and 42. Now, what do I do? What do I have to do? I have to add every element, right? So I need to store it somewhere. So I'll say, okay, I need another variable which is sum. Now, what should be the initial value of sum? Has to be 0. Why? Because I'm going to add something to it every time, right? I have to add something to it every time. Now what do I see? I see I have to do this. Sum is equal to sum plus array of 0 plus array of 1 plus array of 2 plus so on. I say, okay, this is okay, but can I write it as like this? Sum is equal to sum plus array of 0. That's it, right? And then next step I say sum is equal to sum of array of 1 The next step I say sum is equal to sum plus array of 2, right? Are these two same? This and this, aren't these two same? My sum is initially 0, right? I simply say sum is equal to sum plus this. So it becomes 0 plus 3 plus 14 plus this. What happens here? Sum is 0, 0 plus 3. Sum becomes 3. Then 3 plus 14, 17. Aren't these two same? And I already know. How can I write this? I know every time I am incrementing by 1, I know how to do it. So I need another variable, int I equal to 0, I less than what? How many elements are there in this array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I less than 5. I plus plus. What do I do? Sum is equal to whatever I am doing here. 0, 1, 2. I generalize the sum. Sum plus array of I. I will automatically be 0, 1, 2, every link, right? In the end, I just say system dot out dot print ln sum for this array is sum. Sorry. Sum is 185 like we predicted. Sum of the array is 185 like we predicted. Right? So a problem is, next problem you can try in the lab after the class is this. We are given one array, we have to find the product of all the elements of the given array. Example, array is given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The output should be 1 into 2 is 2, 2 into 3 is 6, 6 into 4 is 24, 24 into 5 is 120. The output should be 120. Please note down this problem. We'll give you 2 to 3 minutes. Then we'll continue and we'll do that problem in your labs after the. So have you noted down the problem? Okay, let's continue. That was arrays. Now, what is garbage collection in Java? So we saw, right? What did we see earlier? That what happens in Java? All the methods are allocated space in stack, and all the variables are global variables and objects are allocated space in heap. So what happens when we are reserving a space in the memory? Now we should also remove it. Only then we can. So what we have limited RAMs in our computer, right? So what happens if we only keep on using it and we do not free it? One day we'll run out of space very soon, right? So it is very important that once you have used the space, you should free it also. So what happens? How is this space freed up? It is done by garbage collection. So whatever memory that we have reserved for variables, as soon as the program is over, it should be freed up. So who in programming language like C, the garbage collection, all those variables that we create, memories that we create, we have to remove it manually. If you don't, what happens? This memory leaks. But in Java, this is handled by the garbage collector. So it is garbage collector's responsibility of automatically removing the unused space. So what does the garbage collector do? What did we see? We saw when this program executes, add is added to it, and then memory is created. Then we saw this add called subtract. Then subtract is called added to the stack, right? So as soon as subtract returns, after completing the execution, the garbage collector, we said it is removed. Who removes it? Garbage collector. Because once the execution of this program is over, the garbage collector comes in and it removes these methods. What does the garbage collector do? It comes and it removes these methods. Will remove this from memory. It will remove this after add has completed execution. So who does garbage collection in Java? Garbage collector. And it's an automated process done by the JVM. We need not worry about it. Okay, questions? Are there any questions today? You can write your doubts in the chat box or turn your mics on and ask. All right. Thanks. So I think we'll meet up on Monday next, same time, 2 o'clock. Rajendra sir? Rajendra sir, are you there? Okay, we'll stop here now. You can go to your labs and practice the problems that we have discussed in the class, and also the problem that I have given you. You can try solving that problem.